All right, so I got cut off when I was finishing up last time, so let's finish up this. If we look at the iframe, you can see that the rabbit is outside our visible area. So what we want to do is, this is right now set at 350 pixels, so 350. And you can see that this white area is also out. Huh. All right, so then maybe we should fix this with a media query. Let's do that. Let's do it with the media query. So in order for us to do a media query, we have to use a certain syntax for that. And I can never remember what that is. So I'm going to go, let's go up to here. And actually so there's my units. If I come in here and do media query, all right, so the media query we're going to put into our CSS. Okay, and I'm going to use this right here. And I'm going to copy that. So at media, screen, and min, and then you see why I can't remember that. So let's go into our CSS. And I'm going to put a media query right here. And instead of min width, it's supposed to be max width. .480. And not 480. It is going to be, let's see, where was it? So when we get to about here, let's go. What is that? That's about 425. So at 425, we want to use this. And what we're going to do is say, well, what do we want? I'm going to go put this over here, a close brace. And then what's going to happen is inside here. What we want to do is we want to get rid of this width and margin for main. All right, so let's go ahead and I'm going to copy this. Whoops. And I'm going to paste it down in here. And this is the tricky part of using media queries. I also want to move this over to here. And then here, I'm going to do end of 425. And then make a slash, control slash. All right, so we know what this one is hanging out here. All right, we always want the background color to be that pink, so I don't need this down here. And then up here, in fact, let me move this over. There we go, looks better. Now I'm going to come up to the main up here, and I don't need to have this, so I'm going to select those two and do control slash and comment them out. The reason why I'm commenting them and not deleting them is that if everything goes to heck in the handbasket, I can start undoing what I did. So let's see what happens when we do this. I'm going to do File, Save All. Then I'm going to go back to here and refresh. Okay, so everything is fine. And then when we get below, let's see. So it's doing the opposite of what I expect. So let's go back, and this should be max width. This should be min width. There we go, just like it was. And we're going to do File, Save All. So what's going to happen is, well, let's go ahead and see. So you can see now it's doing the margin, but when we get really close, it goes away. So unfortunately, that number up there is not showing up. I wonder why. Irritating. Okay, so 478. Once we get down below 425, you can see it narrows. And now, and again, we've lost our numbers. Yeah, there's 337. So once we get, there's 350, 347, everything's still working. So I'm happy with the way that is. So now we got to go up and take a look at here. This is our biggest problem right now is our Easter. So what I don't want to have is this text dropping below the end bottom of these and start pushing things. You can see it starts pushing down the navigation. So let's see, we can say that 696 is 690. So let's go back and make it another media query. The nice thing is that once we get one in there, it's easier. Copy, Control V, and this is 690, and we don't want this here. All right. So at 690, everything is good the way it is, but once it gets to 690, we want to change things around. So let's see. Let's go in and take a look. So we have header. You can see that we have header figure float right, and we want that to happen. So I'm going to copy that and move that down into our media query. And then tab it over. And then change this to 690. Oops. All right, so again, keeping track of these is important. So now I have it floating right once it hits 690. Before that, though, I wanted to, where is it? Instead of floating right, I want to do display none. All right, we'll do File, Save All. And I'll come back up here, and then I'll refresh. Okay, and it has disappeared. But look, it's disappeared everywhere. That's not what I want. So let's go back in and see what happened. I said I wanted to display none at the smallest size. And then when it gets bigger, I want it to float. Where is it? Right here. So display none here, and then I want it to float right. The problem is it is floating right, except it's not displaying. So what I need to do is I need to add the display to bring it back at 690. Display. And here I could do block, inline block, doesn't make a difference. I'm going to do inline block. And we'll do, no, notice I'm not doing image, I'm doing figure because I need to get rid of that entire block of HTML. So File, Save All, and then refresh. And you see now the rabbit is back and it's fine. But then when we get too small, it disappears. But that's not helping much. You can see that we're still going to have some problems. What we want to do now is stack these two on top of each other. So let's go do that. So what is making them side by side? And that is this inline block. Not this inline. Well, actually, yeah, this inline block too. So I'm going to go ahead and copy, let's see, both of these. I'm going to move them down here. And of course, they go in front of this. And then make this pretty. There we go. So at 690, I want it to go back to the way it was. What do I want to do before that? All right, so in our header, I don't want it to float left anymore. I want the figure to be a block level element. So I'm going to go ahead and comment this out. This header box, also, I want that to display as block. So I'm just going to comment it out because by default, it's going to be a block level element. There we go. Whoop. There we go. Now we also have padding 10%. I'm going to leave that for now. And I'm going to take out the width. Remember, we're not subtracting the 300 anymore. They're going to be sitting right on top of each other. So remember, this up here is at the smaller size. The media query is at the larger size. So at the larger size, I want it to go back to normal. And I want to calculate this. Now, we can get rid of this box sizing, border box. That won't make a difference. Whoops. And the padding won't make a difference either, because I'm going to keep that up top, but maybe not. So I'm going to just comment it out. All right, now that I made all those changes, let's go ahead and do a file save all and see how that works. There we go. Looking pretty good. So you can see when it gets bigger, and then once it's our break, what we call a breakpoint, everything's fine. Then our breakpoint, boom, it's going to go like that. And then going to keep on going down, keep going down, keep going down. There's 350. So everything is cool. So up to this point now, everything is showing up nicely. And that's how we do a website. So the media queries are the most difficult part. Just remember how we did that. I find my breakpoints, and then I put in a media query that says, okay, at this point, things need to change. And I find then as I go through different elements, usually I do top down, so I would have done this one first and this one second. But remember, the order should be like this, because this is going from the smallest size at the top to the larger size at the bottom. So it should go just like that. If you do it in a different order, unforeseen consequences, because remember, it renders from top to bottom, and we want the top to render first. Now, the last thing I can do is get rid of all my, in fact, I'm going to go ahead and finish that because I don't have enough time to, I only have 30 seconds to finish it up. So, but our website now is looking good. So there we go. And this ends this video.